Everyone, welcome back to another great episode of Raihana's Cuisines. We're gonna kickstart 2016 with making ladoos or ladwas. Has some different names to it. You can call it Motichoor ladoos. You can call it bundina ladwa. So there's so many names for it, but we Indians celebrate everything with ladwas or ladoos. So I want to show you how simple it is to make it at home, and it is the most satisfying thing to make it at home. It's really simple, and I'm going to show you the simplest way of doing it. So first, let's get started with the ingredients we're going to need, okay? So for the ingredients, we're going to need 2 cups of sugar and 1 cup of water, and we're going to make a sugar syrup using that. And then I'm going to be using a thermometer. Now, the reason why I'm using a thermometer is because I really wanted to give you exact measurements. So we're going to take this up to soft ball stage, which is 240 degrees. So I don't think that you need to see me do the syrup, but I will be putting a little bit of cardamom in there and just a little bit of saffron and some orange color in there. So I'll get that started, but I wanted to show you what we're going to use to make our bundis. Now for our bundis, we're going to need 2 cups of gram flour. And what I will do is I will measure the amount of water that needs to go in there, and then we'll make a really nice thick paste for it. And then I'll show you what to do with our bundis. As far as what we need to make ladoos, I have found it simple because I want to have 1 bowl here that I'm going to be sifting the gram flour in. So, you know, I'm just going to be putting it in here and sifting it. Now, the reason I've done it with sifting, I've done it without sifting. With sifting, it's just better because that way you can make sure that you can get all those little, what are they called now? I can't remember. All those thing that hardens inside. It's supposed to be a really nice thin batter with no lumps. There we go, no lumps. Okay. So I'm so excited to do this video for you guys that my mind is thinking faster than, so no lumps in there. So that's the reason, okay? So now, a couple things that I use is I also use a cake batter container. This really helps. The other thing to make the bundis, you can either use regular jarro that we use at home as a fryer, or you can use a bigger one. Now, I have tried both and I love using the bigger one. It just saves me a lot of time, and it's, if you can see, it's a little bit slanted. See, like a little bowl, and it's easier because, you know, when you're doing it, this is more flat and this is more, so it's just easier to do it. You're gonna need a spatula that I forgot. So either or, you don't need both. I like using this sifter where I can scoop up all my bundis with this, so it doesn't get fried too much. When you use this, you can't get all of it out at the same time. This works really well. And then you also need a big plate. So once your stuff is full of the gram flour mixture, you're not going to have drips and mess everywhere, because I'm telling you, I've made these and I've made hundreds of these. So that is why I've come up with a really easy and clean way of doing it, so you don't have work afterwards. We also are going to be using about a tablespoon of ghee that we're going to be putting into our gram flour and water mixture. And that's about it as far as ingredients are concerned. So now let's get started and start getting things together. So I'm going to go ahead and sift this and make sure that there's no lumps. You can see that there's a little bit of lumps in there. I'm just going to take my spatula and just do that. All right. And now we're going to measure our water to make sure I give you the measurement for how thin the batter should be. See, our mixture is pretty thick here, so I'm going to go ahead with another ½ cup. We're going to start mixing that in, and then we're going to see what our mixture looks like. So you can see that I have a whisk, which is working much better with this. I'm just mixing it, and then it's still extremely thick. So I'm going to go ahead and add 1/4 cup of water. We're going to mix it, and then we're going to see if we need to add a bit more water in there. Ghee or clarified butter. orange food coloring, pinch. So the way you want to test for the oil doneness, you just want to keep a couple drops, put a couple drops in it, and see that how it's surfacing right to the top. That means that your oil is completely ready. All right, so you can see that I've transferred it to my batter here, my batter dispenser, and I absolutely love it. And then what you want to do is you want to hold your little sieve and you want to just go through it nicely and slowly. Don't overfill it. Okay, and then I'm going to go around. I'm not going to do anything with it at first. Okay, take a little more. Again, drop it. All I'm going to do is that. I'm not going to go ahead, wash it or whatever. Now this is where your big platter comes in handy. You see that? All the mess is going to be here. You're not going to have a mess anywhere else. Then you have your little sieve, and all you want to do is, this doesn't need cooking very much. So all you want to do is just make sure that you can feel it with this, that it's nice and a little crunchy. So it's done. So now I'm just going to do this and see how I'm getting most of it out. Okay, take out as much oil as you can and start putting it in a bowl, and keep doing this until you have all your bundis done. So I'm going to go ahead, finish up making all the bundis. My sugar syrup is only at 220, so I'm watching that, and then when we come back, my sugar temperature will be at 240 and my bundis will all be done. So you can see here that my bundi is really good. I mean, some of them are clumped together. I want to show you everything. Some of them, like this, is big. But guess what? When we put it in, some of them turned out really, really good. I'm actually really impressed with myself, because my bundis, I tell you, they don't come out unified. They are, some are big, some are small, some are long. But when I make the ladoos, it doesn't show. So we're going to take the bundis and we're going to put them into the food processor, and we're going to pulse it. And you have to kind of see the consistency as you're pulsing it. Yep. So see how this consistency is compared to this? You see the difference? This is quite big. There are some very little big ones in there, which is fine. It's not going to be. Now, if you wanted to have the Motichoor ladoos, like you don't want the little ones, you just want to have the big ones, then don't go ahead and grind it. Just leave it as it is. I've got some sliced almonds that I want to put inside the ladoos. Our sugar syrup is ready. Only take it up to 220 degrees, not 240. I had never really measured the temperature, but I was thinking 240, but when I looked at it, it was 220. I completely let it cool down, and it's cooling down right now. So into my food processor, I'm going to add about a cup of almonds, and I'm just going to pulse it and then add it into my bundi mixture. So you can see that I've got my almonds in here and I've got my bundi. To this, I'm going to go ahead and add my ghee. I'm going to stir it really well, and then we're going to start adding the sugar syrup in there, and I'm going to add it very slowly because we might not need all the syrup. Now I want to explain to you that when you have the measurement of 2 cups of the gram flour for the ladoos, and then you have the 2 cups of sugar, you don't need everything. Now there's different ways of doing this. This is the way I'm doing it, will also limit the amount of sweetness that's going to be in the ladoos. When you take this and you put it into the syrup, you can't, there's no way to take out the syrup, and so you're left with just the syrup and the bundi. So that is why the way I'm doing it is I want to add the chansni in here slowly, and we'll see, as long as we can bind it, we will stop. We won't use all of it. So that is the way I make it, and that's the way that I feel like we can really control the sweetness for the So you can see that I've been mixing this, and the reason why I wear gloves, especially for this, is because it binds really well. When we start to make the ladoos, it really works well. And I think that this is the time you would do a quick taste test. And the taste is perfect. So now when you go like this and you can see that you can make it like this and it stays, that means that this should work. One thing that I completely forgot to mention is that you want to add just a pinch of salt in here, and I'm telling you that it comes together really well. Give it a good mix, and then we're going to start making the ladoos. So you can see here that I've started rolling up my ladoos, and this measurement should get you about 20 of them. Now that also depends on how big or how small you make yours. If they're gonna be gigantic, obviously you're not gonna get as many, but medium sized, I've seen that 1 cup of gram flour will yield about 10. So if you're making it for mosque, or if you're making it for an occasion, then you know how much gram flour you're gonna need. So I'm gonna finish making the ladoos, and I'm gonna leave it for a couple hours so that the ghee or the clarified butter solidifies, and also the sugar syrup also kind of gets a little thicker. So we'll come back in a couple hours, and then we're gonna break into one, we'll give it a try, and we'll see the outcome of the ladoos. So we've got our ladoos ready, or ladwas ready. I waited about 2-3 hours, and they're still pretty soft. It's good if you let them kind of wait overnight, but right now they're the type that I like, the super moist inside. I'm gonna cut it open and look at how much moisture is in there. Look at that. It's wonderful. And so I'll give it a taste test. They're so yummy. And adding that little salt in there was really balanced out our flavors. It's really good. So give it a try. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you have any questions, send a question through the comment. And so today we made these ladoos. Next time we'll make another wonderful recipe. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Raihana's Cuisines. Hope you can join me here next time with another great video. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and I'm available on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Google Plus, and Facebook. So I think I said Facebook twice. Okay. So, and don't forget, please don't forget to give me that thumbs up. Okay. So I'll see you guys next time with another great video.